How's it going, everyone? Runt9 here, and welcome back to another episode of Runt9 Plays, City Skylines, the city of Pyradian, episode number 2. So in the last episode, we started building out this circular city that's got a nice little mix of residential and commercial pockets in here, little industrial off in this corner, and a little bit of area reserved for commercial or industrial, whichever one ends up needing more space first. So one of the things I noticed in between episodes is the fact that we dropped down one med clinic down here, but didn't drop in another one up here. I think that the best place to put it is going to be around here or so, although maybe it does need to go up on this ring. Unfortunately, the way the rings are set up, it's going to be a little bit difficult for city services to get around the way that they need to, but it should be quote-unquote good enough. We actually should probably throw down another elementary school up here as well, since there's a nice little residential pocket up there. We hit Tiny Town, which unlocks quite a few things. We can do our park areas, industry areas, that kind of stuff. None of that we're necessarily going to do right off the bat. Parks and plazas we are going to do because I'm a big fan of increasing land value. I don't think that there's any policies that we're going to immediately want to turn on. This does give us the high school, some parks to put down, and I think that's about it for the moment. So let's take a look at our finances. So we've got 24,000. We could pay this and take it right back out, which I think I will do, just to get a little bit extra cash on hand. We're going to want to drop down our first high school. And down here is probably going to be the best place to do it because that covers the biggest section of our residential area. Other than that, one thing we do need to keep an eye on is garbage processing is not doing too hot right now. So we are going to need another recycling plant here pretty soon. We've got pretty much everything else is looking okay. Not the greatest it possibly could. Water is, we're coming up on needing a second water tower soon. Power is not too far off. So basically, we're going to need a lot of money here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and throw it up to 3 times speed. Let some more people get moved in here. We've got some residential zoning. People are going to be moving in, so we should be fine there. Take a look at traffic. Looks like traffic is doing fine. Let's actually turn that off so we can look at traffic a little bit better. So naturally, these 2-lane roads are going to get clogged up pretty quickly. They are going to need to support more traffic, so we'll mess with that a little bit more as time goes by. But for the moment, we just need to let a little bit more money roll in. We're probably not going to be able to mess with adding in some parks for the land value right off the bat. We've got a few too many other things to worry about. Like I said, we've got power coming up on needing another power plant like right now, which of course costs 19,000. We don't have the money for that. We could just throw in a little bit of wind power up here, which would get us by for now. 7 megawatts is not terrible. In fact, I think I may actually want to do that, although we are going to have another ring going through here at some point. Notice how the traffic is starting to pile up here a little bit. Kind of what I expected. I knew that that was a temporary measure. We definitely need garbage processing, but I think electricity is going to be our top priority here. There's no complaints about garbage yet. We could potentially boost the electricity budget slightly. I really like the way this looks. I mean, if you follow the circle around, it's got this nice density to it. Just, I don't know, it looks really cool to me. So residential is getting pretty far up there on demand really quickly, but unfortunately we don't have enough room to build out a lot more. And we're going to need a buffer space up here. In fact, this industry should probably be dezoned. Yeah, I think I'd prefer to dezone that. We'll zone that one off. We could maybe squeeze in a little bit of commercial here and then zone the rest of this as residential. I don't know that this is going to be our best idea ever, but it'll at least give us a little bit more residential coverage there, you know, in kind of a decent little spot there. Now we have enough to drop down a second power plant. We'll drop one down right here. That'll work. Perfect. So power will be covered. Now we need to get more residences moving in. This will cover some of it, but man, it's not enough. Maybe now's a good time to weave in some more residential. In fact, let's de-zone all of this commercial here. And of course, I accidentally de-zoned that building, which I totally did not mean to do. We'll zone that commercial. Cool. Let's throw in some more residential there. It gives us a little bit more room for residences to move in, and industry is becoming pretty packed. And again, we're not doing too hot on money. You can see garbage starting to pile up. Oh man, we can't really do much with taking out more loans. So money is a problem, and it's getting about time for another water tower. So things are not doing too hot right now. So what do we do when we need a little bit of a stimulus? Well, we temporarily increase taxes. So I realize that this is like edging on the side of cheating. Some people feel it is, some people feel it isn't. I tend to be in the camp of, it's basically just a temporary little taxation to get a little bit of a stimulus bill. You may get some people moving out in the meantime, but, it's somewhat realistic. We'll drop in another water tower up here if we can. We can sneak one right there, which will do the trick. And then we need just a little bit more for a second recycling center. Again, I kind of want to keep the recycling centers instead of landfills because it's a little easier to manage. But we need just a little bit more money. We've got a lot of residential demand. I think that we could probably just go ahead and de-zone this and throw a bit more residential zoning right there. Come on, recycling plant. We've got some garbage icons popping up. I'm going to drop this one in right here, which is going to blow away one building, but that's perfectly fine. That residential demand is super high. Our garbage processing is still not where it needs to be. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to... Oh, we hit Boomtown. That's good. That gives us a little bit of extra money. We get some public transport. We got some buses. And you'll start to see how the circular city comes into its own once we start adding in public transit. Tram lines we may not use in the circular part of the city, but we definitely are going to use bus lines on each of these circle loops. And it definitely can help cut down traffic. We're also going to immediately turn on recycling. I believe we want to turn on recycling plastic as well. Yeah, that'll give our recycling centers a bunch more efficiency. We'll turn on recreational use as well. So we will immediately go into policies, turn on recreational use, recycling, and recycle plastic. Now, I believe that this will give us a bit of a money decrease here, but I think it's worth it. Now, let's get back up to 3 times speed here. So we've got a little bit of money. We probably don't need to worry about the public transit right off the bat. It is something we're going to want to consider, but with the giant demand, I think I want to go ahead and build out another loop. So this time we're going to start here yet again, go down about 12 units. And so this time it's going to be, nope, not that. We want the curve tool here. I am actually going to keep the game paused while I build this. So last time we went to 68 units, which was 12 down from the 80 we did before. So we should be at 56 this time, and that should give us the perfect zoning we're looking for, and that certainly looks right to me. 56 down this way. Nope, not 55. 56, please. Come on, precision. There we go. And then we'll go 56 over right there. Now on this side, I have to remember that I can only go 55 because we are 1 unit off on our loop because we hit the city limits. And there we go. So there's another loop, and then we will run this one in from the cardinal directions. So this will be just like this. Base already occupied. What do we have here? Oh, we have a fire station. How much is the relocation cost? 2,400. That's a little rough, but we will have to move that in order for this road to come down there. And again, we'll go back through and fix the zoning on them. This one needs to be right about here, 90 degrees each way. And this one should be right about here or so. Alrighty, that looks a little bit off, but not off enough for me to worry about it. Let's go in and remove zoning from these so that nothing will build on those roads. We need to clean up the zoning in here a little bit. This should be residential, that's commercial already, this looks good there. And now I'm going to start alternating. So where we have commercial is going to become residential, and the residential pockets are obviously going to be bigger than the commercial pockets. But I think that what we're going to want to do is bring the industry down some more. And again, we're going to obviously surround the industry with commercial so that there's a buffer between industry and residential. But this will continue to give us plenty of industry as we get further along. We'll zone off commercial here, and then we'll actually zone this all off as commercial, I would say. I do not want this little bit down here should be residential. Let's actually even make these commercial as well. This should be residential. So again, the zoning gets a little bit messed up when you turn zoning off on the side streets, but that's kind of to be expected. I actually think that I want this to all be commercial here. That'll be one big commercial section there. This will all be residential. We'll do another little commercial pocket kind of right here, I would say. That should be fine there. We'll do a commercial pocket right here. And then I think everything else, other than obviously right here next to the industry, everything else will be residential. So let's do this, grab our marquee tool, and everything else is painted residential. Let's make sure we've got water run properly, which it looks like everything is nice and watered. And health coverage is kind of bad. We do need death care coverage as well, which cemeteries are a little bit annoying to place on these types of cities. We'll place one out here, I would say, is going to be our best bet. Or maybe, no, it looked like it had decent coverage on this internal loop. So we'll go with that for now. Fire looks okay. I mean, this is not particularly good. So we'll probably want to put one up there along with some more police coverage. So yeah, definitely need money, but we got to get some residences moved in. We got to get some more tax money rolling in. And I do like how quickly the city's expanding. It seems to be working pretty well for us. We're spending a lot of money on roads, which, I mean, that's something that I tend to do. But I'm okay with it. I'm definitely okay with how things are going so far. I really like the way the city is building up. Hopefully you are too. We did unlock our third tile, so we could start expanding out here, but I kind of want to get this in a good spot first. Plus, there's not much sense expanding out there until we hit the next milestone, I believe is where we get our tourism specialization. So I may even wait until we get our fourth tile so that we can hook it up to the highway as well. Now, at some point, we are going to want to wrap a highway around this ring at some point, and probably even will want a raised highway that goes through it, maybe with an exit right in the center of the city, some big interchange potentially. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. We'll have to see. This is definitely getting some traffic up here, partially because stoplights everywhere. So let's go through and disable all of our stoplights until we have a reason to turn stoplights back on or use junction management or something like that. But at least for the moment, I'm going to assume that stoplights are bad and are only going to hurt our traffic flow. Okay, cool. That looks good. Traffic flow, again, up here is getting a little bad. We are towards the end of the evening, so we're out of rush hour time. Everything's looking good. Public transit is something we don't want to neglect, but city services are certainly the priority. Med clinic coverage, we're going to want to drop one probably right off of this. No, because the next one is going to be at a 45-degree section. That way it'll spread into the inside a little bit better. Fire coverage, we're going to want to go about right there, it looks like. And then police coverage, maybe throw one on this side. I mean, pretty much this whole inner loop is in a bad spot right now. So we're going to have some growing pains, to say the least. We are trucking right along to the next milestone, though, that comes in at 4,800. And my wireless keyboard is being mean to me at the moment. Let's maneuver things around a little bit. One moment. All right, that should be a little bit better. Sometimes my wireless keyboard that I use for recording, because it's nice and quiet, sometimes disagrees greatly with what I would like it to do. We're going to throw another police station down here just because I like having full city service coverage, even if it does cost us a lot of money, but we are kind of swimming in it. $5,000 a month, I believe, is the income. Income lasts 20 minutes since it's the real-time mod. So every 20 minutes in-game, we're getting a lot of money. I think we may even want to expand to the next loop here pretty soon. I don't want to expand too far until we can get to Big Town. That's where we get high density. So I think this may actually be as far as I want to expand the loop as far as internally, because I think from here, I'm going to want the inside to all be high density from here on out. Which makes me think that we should go ahead and buy this tile and do one more big loop around it before we start running up against this coastline. As you can see, our residential demand has now shot through the roof. I think that it's probably high time to buy that. No, not high tide or high noon. Let's see, though, can we get 12 units out with this road here? That would be... There's 10, 11, 12... So it'd need to be about right there. It looks like that we would be able to get another loop on here. So let's start it from down here, I would say is going to be the best way to do this. Yeah, and then I'm going to screw up the circle while simultaneously fixing the circle by going out exactly to 92 over here instead of 91. And I realize that this is going to slightly disturb the perfect zoning. But this way, we get back to everything being completely a perfect circle here. Now, I don't know exactly what I want to do with this yet. In fact, we may even want to buy this tile and kind of put this off for a little while. But at least for the moment, this little intersection is getting broken. And yeah, I'm almost like positive that we're going to have to maneuver things a bit here. Where do we have... In fact, ground pollution is getting a little bit close to our water supply there. We've got some commercial zoning down here, so maybe we'll push the water towers into some of these commercial zones. Let's relocate this to right here, and then we'll connect up the water supply there. Let's move this down. Again, just checking the zoning. Oh, nope, that's not where we want it. We want it to be right there because of noise pollution. Because water towers are noise pollution, but rock and roll is not noise pollution. fact, I would go so far as to say rock and roll ain't noise pollution. Let's drop this down here. I believe that that was reasonable from the zoning perspective, which it is. So we will hook these back up, and that will take care of moving those around, and we will be able to come in, not bulldoze anything, with our next set of 92 here. We don't have the money for this, I'm assuming is the error that is not popping up right now. So let's not try to let it run without an inlet into the city. Ooh, that could have been bad. So we're going to have to be a little bit careful here. Let's just bring this back up. This is going to be bad for the moment. Where's my 3-lane one-way? That's fine for now. I'm not even going to remanage the lanes because I'm going to delete that soon. But I think I actually want to keep this running while we try to build out the circle. Let's come over 92 units, go up 92, and I think we're going to break power lines here. Looks like we were able to avoid breaking power lines. It doesn't have perfect zoning, but that's also perfectly fine. 92 units. So yeah, it's going to be hitting that pretty close. I think I will want to buy this tile so we can kind of redo this highway off-ramp. Because really it needs to be a diamond interchange for the moment. We are running low on power. So power is definitely our next concern. What we can do for the moment, though, getting out of the power thing there, is let's throw our roads through here, which of course, if you see, I put the elementary school there. I'm brilliant. Let's throw this road right here with the straight line tool, and then immediately turn off zoning and paint this back as residential. Power problems inbound. We need 19,000 for that. We're going to wait just a little bit longer here to get that power plant in place before we do anything else, because again, that's kind of our biggest problem right now. I mean, garbage processing certainly isn't in an ideal spot either. But I think for that, what's going to be best is to turn the garbage budget up a bit. In fact, if we max it out, how high does that take it? It was at 480. It definitely eats some capital. It gets us into the yellow, which is manageable. Still ticking its way up. Doesn't look like it hurts us too bad. 720, you know what? I'm okay with that. Elementary school is not where it needs to be. We're going to need to drop down some more of those. And we need residential, and we just need everything. Dude, we need a lot of everything. At this point, we actually still need that. I'm not going to delete that yet. I think that I'm going to take out another stimulus package. Actually, we can do this. That'll help substantially. Let's drop another power plant in right along here. And we can almost afford another recycling center. We'll drop in right there. Okay, good. Good. That gets our garbage processing well into the green. That gets our electricity well into the green. And then we can just kind of sit here and worry about the fact that we're not making much money and there's an incredibly high demand for residences. We can kind of shove a few residences in here and then delete this power line, which allows us to shove in a couple more residences here, making sure that things are watered okay. Let's start expanding this out a little bit. Probably go down around there. Don't want to spend too much money right now, but we're going to have to grow this very carefully. We just have absurd amounts of residential demand right now. And unfortunately, with the way these roads are connected, these people are not going to be able to get where they're going very easily or have access to like any city services. But at least this will get us... Oof, that may be tight as far as whether or not that'll have water. Little industry demands popping up, that's fine. Our taxes are sitting at 12% right now. High school is filling up. So as you can tell, growing pains are a real thing with this type of city, which I kind of expected. I wasn't prepared for how bad the growing pains would be, however. But it's okay. It's perfectly all right. I know that it looks like things are bad right now, but they're not actually bad. We're actually going to delete this and then immediately bring this in like that so that we can squeeze in that extra little bit there. I don't think it'll rebuild, but that's okay. Now we are hitting sewage problems. Yeah, no, it's just because it wasn't powered for a brief moment. Is it still not powered? Does it not detect that that is powered? What if I do that? Okay. Let's not have sewage backing up into our city. That would be preferable. As for what we do next, well, obviously I want to finish connecting this loop around, but I think that what we need to do first is just water this outer loop as it stands. And I think that we're just going to fill it all with residences until we have... That's not going to fill in perfectly. Until we have demand for something else, honestly. Let's just make it all residents and move things around as need be. That fire got put out. Good to know. Oh man, speaking of fire, it feels like I'm running around with my head on fire right now. But hopefully this is a lot of residences that are going to move in. We'll hit our next milestone, and we'll be in an okay spot money-wise, and that'll probably end up being where we cut off the episode once we hit this next milestone, which is going to be at 4,800. Coming quick. It's coming up quick. Water and sewage are getting a little bit full. We need another water tower and a commercial space, which... you know what? For now, we're going to try to spread the water towers out. And the reason... I mean, I guess I could just take care of this problem permanently. Put in another one of these and put in one of these right here. And I'll stop hating the water situation so much, because that'll put both of these well into the green once we actually deliver power over here as well, which we just barely have the money for. And okay, that takes care of water. Oh man, what a crazy hectic episode. I'm quite parched from talking so long without taking a sip of water. I was about as dry as the city was there for a moment without that extra water inlet there. So as soon as we hit this milestone, I think that's where we're going to stop the video for now. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit me with a like or comment. It helps out a lot. Also subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Check out the community Discord to connect with me directly. And if you're interested in donating to my channel, there's a Patreon link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will catch you on the next one.